What's going on, nation, and welcome to Hammy Time. This is a hamstring and calves workout. It's the next installment in your muscle and strength series. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with the other workouts in this program, I'll post links to them all above right here. Now, in this routine, once again, we're going to be starting off with a really heavy 5x5 on our first muscle group, which is going to be the hamstrings. However, for the calves, we're going to be focusing more on volume. So pay attention to the sets and reps because they're going to vary per exercise. So gather your strength, let's take a look at this routine has to offer and get started. All right, so once again with this series, we're starting off with a heavy 5x5. Barbell stiff leg deadlift is the first exercise. Now when I do this exercise, I like to pick up the bar doing a traditional deadlift and then get myself into position to do the exercise. Now when doing the barbell stiff leg deadlift, you do want to keep your legs stiff. And you notice that I'm not just bending over at the hips, I'm actually pushing my butt backwards as I go down with each repetition. That's going to get the most amount of tension into those hamstrings, and that's where the gains are going to come from. I like to keep my feet about shoulder width apart when doing this exercise. Keep a neutral grip on the bar, so keep your hands just under your shoulders or about shoulder width apart. Try to keep your head in line with your spine as you go up and down. You notice that I'm not keeping my head up as I go up and down. And then guys, it's also very important that on each repetition, you want to reset that internal belt. So at the top of the movement, take in a breath, and as you go down and bring yourself back up, you're going to keep your core nice and tight. So you're going to squeeze your abs as hard as you can, and you're going to hold that breath until you come back to the top of the movement, and then that's where you're going to reset. You notice I'm pausing at the top each time. Now when doing the 5x5, you do want to try to bump the weight if you can each time. So right now I'm on set 4. I'm using 335 pounds, and you'll notice that I'm still able to keep proper form. I'm not going into flexion with my lower back, and what that means is my lower back isn't rounding over as I go down. And if you have a hard time doing this exercise with your legs straight because you have bad flexibility, just bring the bar down as low as you can. As long as you're hitting about mid-shin, that's pretty good. Or if you need to have a slight bend in your knees, like I said, it's a stiff leg deadlift, so you want to keep your legs stiff. But if you have to have a slight bend just in the beginning as you work on your flexibility, that's okay. And as you guys can see here, I actually had a sock chalk you can buy at any hiking store, and it's a sock filled with chalk you can bring to the gym and use it on the barbell. This barbell has like zero grip, so it's making the exercise much harder to do. But as you can see on my final set, I bumped the weight up one more time, and I finished off my 5x5 really strong. The next exercise is going to be the prone leg curl. Now you're going to do 4 sets of 10 repetitions. Now with the prone leg curl, it's really important that you position yourself properly on this bench, because if you let the ankle pad be too low, when you curl the weight up, it's going to move on you too much, and it's going to make the exercise movement uncomfortable. You want to have your knees lined up with the pivot point of the machine. You want the ankle pad just above your ankles so you have enough room to go up and down with the weight. And you want to make sure you're not using momentum. If you're not using your legs for the exercise and you start swinging, then you need to lower the weight. The third exercise is going to be a glute ham raise. Again, 4 sets, 10 repetitions. Now, this exercise can prove to be pretty difficult if you've never done it before. As you guys can see, I set up a Smith machine to kind of catch my ankles as I go down on each repetition. If you don't have access to a Smith machine, you can have a friend hold your ankles for you. You can try to position yourself on another machine, just as long as you can lock your legs in place. And what you want to do is you actually want to push your hips forward, keep your chest up, and flex your glutes, and keep everything as tight as possible, similar to doing a plank, so that as you go down, you can try your hardest to fight gravity and allow your hamstrings to do as much of the work as possible. Now I am using my hands to push myself up, but I'm trying to use as little bit pushing as possible so that I'm using my hamstrings as much as possible during the exercise. Now for the good morning, once again 4 sets, 10 reps. This is an exercise I don't do too often. You guys can see in the top left hand corner that I did some practice reps with 95 pounds in the bar. With this exercise, if you go too heavy, you're not going to hit your hamstrings. It's going to make you start to use a lot more muscles in your legs and your lower back and your upper body to perform the movement. You want to make sure you're sitting back as you bend over and you're feeling that nice tight pull in your hamstrings throughout the entire range of motion. If you notice that you're faltering with your form and you're not really feeling it in your hamstrings because the weight's pulling you down too far, then you need to go a bit lighter. And like I said, it's a really good idea to do some practice reps first if you don't do this exercise all the time, because that's what helped me really isolate my hamstrings when I put the 135 pounds in the bar. So as you guys can see, I'm keeping only a slight bend in my knees. If you bend your knees too much, you're not going to feel it in your hamstrings as well. And I'm also pushing my butt back as far as I can with each repetition. It's the pushing back of your butt that's going to allow you to feel this in your hamstrings. If you just bend over forward and keep your lower body in one position, you're going to just work your lower back. It's not going to work your hamstrings, and you could potentially hurt yourself as well. Alright, so now we're going to move on to calves. We're going to start off with a standing barbell calf raise. Now we're doing 4 sets of 15 repetitions. Now when it comes to calves, if you use too much weight, you're not going to get a good exercise routine done. Because if you go too heavy, you're not going to be able to fully extend on every single repetition. Now when I do calves, I actually like to go up on my toes as high as I can, and then when I come back down, I like to lift my toes up. For me, I actually get more calf engagement this way, and it allows me to make sure that I'm going all the way up and all the way down. It's kind of a mental thing for me as well. But you'll notice on every single repetition, I was on my tiptoes as high as I possibly could be. The next exercise is going to be the seated wide stance calf raise. And you'll see on my first repetition, I lowered the weight as much as I could, and I kind of held it there for a second. For me, mentally, if I do this, it lets me set the range of motion in my head of how low I'm supposed to go and how high I'm supposed to go. So many people put on so much weight in this exercise, their range of motion is less than an inch. You want to go up on your tippy toes as high as you can, and then dip low as you can with your heels on every single repetition. If you're not seeing calf growth, it's probably because you're not fully activating the muscle, because you're not doing the proper range of motion. And now here's the finisher, last exercise, standing calf raise to toe raise, 4 sets, 50 repetitions. And you'll see I'm holding on to a machine right now for support. My goal right now is just to maintain my balance. My calves are already on fire. I've already done 8 sets of exercises. But I want to make sure that I'm able to get up on my tiptoes on every single repetition. So as you start to fatigue, what you can do is you can hold on to a structure like I am and give yourself a little bit of assistance if you need it to make sure you're getting up on your tiptoes. Now, you want to make sure on every single repetition that you rock forward and backwards, but you want to make sure you're not using the rock as momentum. You can see that as I come down from the tippy toe position, I kind of stop for a second, then lift my toes, and then go forward again. So I'm not using my hips to swing myself forward and back. I'm very controlled, and I'm making every single repetition count. You guys can see my calves are actually getting a pretty good pump from doing this. Veins are popping. I just wish they were 10 times bigger, probably like everybody else in the world. Now when you get towards the end, it might feel easy around like 30 reps, but as soon as you start to hit 35, 40, 45, that's when the pain's gonna really set in. So make sure you push through every single repetition, complete all the sets, and you'll see those calves start to grow in no time. All right, guys, we're done with our hamstrings and calves workout. And if you're like me right now, you're standing, and if you are standing, you're bending your knees and you're trying to take as much pressure off your calves as possible. That last exercise destroyed me, but that's good because we're gonna see some growth. Now, once again, if you haven't been keeping up with all the routines in this series, I'm going to post links to them all above right here. And if you need any help with your current routine, whether you're using all of these workouts or not, be more than happy to help you in the forum section of ScottHermanFitness.com. So if you guys just make your way over there, I'll put a link to that section in the cue card that's going to come up after this video ends on the top right-hand corner. So make sure you click that. For more great tips, exercises, routines, and meal plans, be sure to join us on ScottHermanFitness.com. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys. Are you looking to build some massive muscle, nation? This is something that I'm very excited about. I've put together my first 30-day workout program. This isn't no fly-by 20-minute Zumba workout, guys. This is the real deal. What I've done is I've taken all the guesswork out. Some of you guys might not know how to put together a program. Maybe you don't have time to do it, or you just want to try something new or something different. So what I've done is taken all the guesswork out and planned every single day for 30 days. So all the exercises, sets, reps, rest periods, and also I put together my own specific muscle splits to make sure you're really maximizing your time in the gym. Now this workout plan is going to come complete with some PDF downloads as well as some mobile, tablet, and PC friendly videos that you guys can watch to perform the workout while in the gym. You're going to absolutely love it. We're also giving away some meal plan advice as well to make sure no matter what your macros need to be to hit your goal, we can help you get there. So if you haven't checked it out yet, join me on leanmusclesystem.com and sign up for the waiting list. We're only releasing 1,000 copies of the program to start. And it's because, as you guys know, I really like to engage with the community and make sure you guys are reaching your goals. So those first 1,000 people to get in and try the system, we're going to do our best to have quality customer support and make sure that I can also get in there to help with any questions you might have. So be sure to check it out. I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to see the results that you guys start to post.